So you're ready to get your health back, your life back, and you know that a healthy diet and lifestyle is the best way to get there, but you just can't seem to get started or get back on track. Let's talk about what might be going on in your head and see if we can beat this thing. Here we go. If you try to clean your whole house, say once a month, it's a really daunting project because you've got to do a lot all in one weekend, for example. But if you change that and instead try to clean one room of your house every weekend, it might be a little bit easier to take on a big project. Why am I talking about cleaning your house? Because getting onto a healthy diet and lifestyle can be really similar to that. It can feel really daunting. You've got to change your whole life. The food that you eat that you've been eating for decades, now you've got to say goodbye to that for the most part, maybe not entirely. You've got to get out and do some exercise, some movement, whatever it is, and it's hard to do that. It's hard to say that every day now I'm just this new person that's on this new diet and lifestyle. That it can be very challenging. Some people thrive like that. They know that they just have to do the whole thing all at once, they prep for it and they do it. But most of us aren't really like that. We see a big, huge project. It's really hard to break it off into little pieces and get it done. We look at the whole thing and we think, oh boy, how am I going to take this thing on? If you're struggling with this mindset, then it's time to change the way we're thinking about it. Why not instead think, how can I add one healthy meal to my day? I know that one healthy meal isn't enough for you to get all the health benefits that you seek. Don't think about that. But what it is really good for is practice and mindset. I don't mean practice like, yeah, you've made a healthy meal before, you don't need to practice that. But I do mean practice. I mean habit forming practice, getting back into the vibe. Instead of thinking, okay, I've got to do all of this at once, take everything out of the kitchen and everything, maybe try a new approach. Why don't we just add healthy oatmeal to your morning, for example? Instead of a greasy breakfast, why not eat one big bowl of oatmeal with a ton of berries? You can throw on some nuts, you can throw in some date powder like we sell on our website to help sweeten it up and make it really delicious. You don't have to make it the key, ultimate, maximum, healthiest meal you've ever eaten. You could throw in some nut butter and make it kind of fat and rich. You've got a meal where you're getting rid of the animal products, the rich processed oils and other junk ingredients, and you're just taking it one meal at a time. After that meal, think about, okay, how can I do one more meal? You don't have to think total perfection without any exceptions. Just take on one healthy meal. And the reason I love to recommend oatmeal is because you could actually eat your normal diet, and if you add, say, 1 or 2 big bowls of oatmeal every day, you're going to make it really hard to eat as much of all the other junk food that you might have been eating in your diet. And junk food, I don't just mean like literally junk food chips, but like the standard American diet food that is purely junk, let's be real. Or maybe you want to do a whole day of healthy eating. You've got all your ingredients, you've picked out a couple really fast, easy, well-your-world recipes so you don't have to spend the rest of your life in the kitchen, and you just want to do one really healthy day of eating. Even if that doesn't work out and your dinner isn't quite right, don't be too hard on yourself. We're just getting back into the swing of things. But I do want you to stay really diligent and feel like you're still on, even though you might not be perfectly on track, but you're still like on this quest. It's not a side story that you're thinking about doing. Feel like you're now taking this on. Do one meal, try to do 2 meals, try to do some exercise, go walk around the block a couple times. Even if you don't know if you can do it tomorrow, go do it today. This is gonna make you start to feel like you're a member of this club in your head. Start to interact with a support group like the Well Your World Facebook group. Get on our cooking show and in the chat box. Just because you're in there talking about what you're going through doesn't mean you have to be absolutely perfect. There are lots of people in the Well Your World Facebook group that still have an animal product meal or whatever. We are not that kind of group where you have to be absolutely perfect all the time. I don't want you to like explain all the gory details of the garbage food you're eating, but you get the picture. But what I want you to start to get away from is being really hard on yourself, like when you fall off track and then you talk a lot of crap about yourself, either in your head, in the Facebook group, whatever. Oh, I screwed up, I need to repent, and all these things. You don't really need to think of it like that. You just need to think, how can I get right back on track after I screw up? It's not that I'm trying to give you permission to eat a bunch of junk, but I'd like to see you start to integrate healthy meals into the diet without thinking that it's all or nothing, because then you might never get started at all. But I know that if I can get you to start exercising this muscle and integrate some healthy meals into your diet, that you'll start to gain your confidence, you'll start to feel familiar with everything, you're part of the club, you're on board, even though it's not quite perfect. When you want to run a marathon, you're not going to do 26 miles tomorrow. You're going to start with 1. Just 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes. Go do 1 mile. And then the next day or 2 days later, you do 2 miles maybe. You do a mile and a half. Maybe you stay at 1 mile for a while and you don't even increase your distance. But you're on a training plan now. Maybe it's not a plan where you've got every nitty-gritty detail etched out, but you know, now I'm training for something. I'm on this thing, and you can start to familiarize yourself with these feelings feelings of success again, even when you might have a meal that is totally garbage at the end of the day or something, okay? Don't do it if you don't have to, but if you do, don't be so darn hard on yourself. It happens to the best of us. It happens to me too. For example, how many years have I been talking to you about how I want to get back in the gym and be really consistent? And the reason I don't seem to get on is because I'm like, why work out tomorrow if I can't work out Thursday and I can't be on a steady stream of workouts? Well, it's really not the right way for me to think about it. So now I'm coming to you, I'm going on record, I'm saying I just need to do a couple workouts a week. If that's all I can get, one workout a week, it's something. I can get the feelings going, I can get through the muscle soreness, I can get to a point where I'm feeling like I'm working at something, you know what I mean? And the food is the very same. And no matter how experienced you are, it can always be hard to get started again if you've taken a lot of time off. I know because I'm there with certain things. I've wanted to make a course, you know, a video course with all the plant rants, essentially the things I'm talking about now, in one easy to go to place. I haven't done it. Why can't you just make one video a week? Eventually you'll have a course. After a few months, you'll have something that people will find really helpful. And I just haven't gotten to it yet because it's too hard and daunting for me to think, how am I going to get all these videos made? I know all about that feeling because I've started over also, just like you. It takes time and it takes practice, but if I can get you to consistently integrate, say, one healthy breakfast every day, let's pick the easiest thing. Go buy the puffed cereal and soy milk, throw on some fresh fruit, take a thing of blueberries, wash them under the sink, and dump them on top of your cereal, and that's a really healthy meal. It takes very, very little effort, and if you do that every day, you're gonna feel like, to some extent, you're on board with this health thing. I may not be perfect, but I am actually putting a dent in this thing, and I'm feeling like I'm doing it every day. And then you can start to make one of our 10-minute lunch meals, like our potato corn chowder, where you just dump a bunch of freezer bag things in. It takes no time at all, and you've got another healthy meal. But oh, maybe dinner, I'm not quite there yet because I got the family and this and that, and I'm struggling with these relationships, and everybody's pushing on me to eat like them, and I want to eat like me. I know it's hard. This is the hardest part of maintaining a healthy diet, is the social pressure and the experience in your life. Changing your entire diet and lifestyle is probably one of the hardest things that we can do because the way you're doing it now is so ingrained. You've gotten really good at doing it the wrong way. So you've got to define what is perfect and then reverse engineer it. What can you do right now? Obviously perfect is eliminate all the animal products, eliminate the oil, dramatically reduce your salt and your sugar intake. Try to make it so that you're putting the salt on your food at the table. You're not using prepackaged salty food products. And when you eliminate all the junk from your diet, you're going to find that you're only left with whole natural foods. And that makes it easy because it's a lot easier to think about what to take out of the diet rather than thinking, oh, I need to eat more greens, more fruit, more this, more that, more nutrient dense ingredients, all this. No, don't get all caught up on that. Just focus on getting rid of the junk. And as a side note, my recommendation is that you do not try to skip meals and just get fewer and fewer calories per day. You want to stay full. The easiest way to feel well when you're transitioning the way that you eat is to be full, like all day long. If you can stay full on healthy food, you're going to have less cravings for all of the other junk. It's just naturally how your body's going to work. Plan for the times when you're not going to be on track with the diet, okay? Instead of thinking of it as a mistake, try to think of it as a planned thing. I know it's not healthy, I'm going to do it anyway, I'm getting right back on track. When we do decide to go on a date night and eat junky food, we aren't saying, oh, I screwed up, I fell off, I'm such an idiot, I hate myself. No, we're saying, hey, we're gonna make a choice here, we're gonna get right back onto our routine afterward, but tonight we're gonna go eat a little bit of junk food and indulge, whatever, and have some fun out on the town and do the things that all the regular people get to do, and then we're gonna get right back on track. Kids up, kids to school, breakfast, lunch, dinner, blah, blah, blah. That is the greatest way to do it. Keep on practicing, y'all. Don't be too hard on yourself and join our community. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.